Hi, this is needlepointers.com. Today I'd like to show you this new loop yarn product that I found in the store recently. This is by Lion Brand Yarns and it's called Off the Hook Magic Yarn. And what it is yarn that has a pattern already built into it. So last year I showed you how to make a heart pillow with the loop yarn, and we had to switch the colors in order to make the heart shape in the pillow. Well, they actually have an Off the Hook Magic heart, which you can just stitch out and it appears as you stitch. So this is really neat. I did this one first. It's a star, and as you stitch back and forth, the star appears in the stitching. Once you have this stitched out, you could do a lot of things with it. You could extend it out and make it into a blanket, and having this maybe in the center, or you could have a few of these in different places on the blanket, or you could make these into a pillow by adding more yarn to make the back of the pillow, or even sewing a piece of fabric onto the back of the pillow. So I will show you how this one becomes a smiley face. The instructions for this yarn are not actually included on the yarn package anywhere. But there is a website. It says to visit lionbrand.com/offthehook for a video to get started, and this has a video, and then it also has PDF instructions for how to do this yarn. To start this pattern, you start by counting 26 loops, not including your starting off-colored loop across. So I've counted them out, and this is the stitch 26th. Then we start stitching back and forth, but we're only going to go back 21 stitches. For this project, we're doing the simple stocking stitch, where we take the next loop in the working yarn and we pass it from the back to the front through the previous loop in the previous row and pull through. So I'm going to continue across this row, pulling from back to front and looping the next loop in each loop. Okay, so I stitched back 21 stitches, which means I should have 5 extra stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over, because the instructions say stitch by 26, or go out 26, come back 21. But there seems to be a problem with this yarn, because I can see this should be really in the center. It's the first row here. So it should be in the center. And I can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I have 9 on that side. So I can tell this is not going to be right, because as I stitch across this row, it's off center, right? So when they put this yarn together, they seem to have miscounted where they started here, and we have to put an extra loop in there. We still want to do 26 back and forth. We just need to start with one less loop here, so that everything will then adjust. That it'll push down and push back and adjust everything around. So let's see how that works. So I'm going to take these back out. So it's kind of good that happened. With this one, I didn't have any problems. I stitched out the 26 like it told me and went back and forth, and it stitched perfectly out. So I guess, if when they're making this yarn, if they make a small mistake, like they seem to have done here, and miscounted the beginning loops, then you could end up being off. So instead of having 5 loops here, I'm going to go out and come back so there's only 4 loops to start with, which means that I would, instead of counting out 26 loops, I'm going to count out 25. Okay, so now I'm starting with, I count out 25, and I'm still going to come back 21, the same as it said before in the instructions, because the rest of it, we're hoping, will be correct. So as I started before, just doing the stocking stitch by taking the next one in the working yarn and putting it from the back to front through the loop, all the way across. Alright, so let's see if we have the same number on each side this time. It looks better by looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're good. And see, I have only 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 left over, where if I followed the instructions, I would have had 5. So it's one quick adjustment I had to make there. Hopefully, if you purchase this yarn, it will be correct for you and you won't have to make any adjustments like my first one was. But if not, that was one small adjustment that needed to be made, and we should be good after this. So in the instructions, in the PDF instructions, they do have pictures of what your pattern should look like as you're going along, so that you can follow along and make sure it looks like it's coming out correctly. Alright, so I finished that row, and you can see we're starting to get the bottom of the circle and the happy face, and the next row will have some of the black in it. So let's go back that one and just make sure that it seems to be lining up properly. So we just keep working back and forth, just like you would normally with loop yarn, but this picture will just appear as you're working, like magic. That's why they call it the magic yarn. And it appears to be lining up perfectly. Because I have one extra here, it's going out one, with one more wide with the yellow. There we go. And the next row is going to have some white in it. So continue back the next row the same way. And if any of these rows don't match up, then I would suggest you count your number of loops. Make sure you didn't end up missing a loop or adding an additional loop in there somehow. Make sure that that's all correct. And basically how they've done this with this yarn is they've just tied different colors yarn together along the way. So they tie in the white and then to the black, to the yellow, then to the blue. And there's another one done, and you can start seeing the smiley face starting to come out. So I'm going to continue working back and forth till we get the whole smiley face done. So I wanted to show my progress so far, and I've gotten several more rows done, and you can see the whole smiley face is there. And I think the next row we'll start to do the eyes. So let's see how that goes. And here we are with a few more rows done. The eyes are all done. There's one more row, or 2 more rows with yellow in it to complete, and then probably 1 or 2 more rows with the just blue. So let's see how it comes out. And there, it's all completed. Now we have the last few loops here, and if you are going to continue and make this into a pillow by adding more yarn, then at this point you would just take your other yarn, you'd have to buy another skein somewhere, and you will just start stitching with the next yarn. If you'd like to see more instructions for doing a completed pillow, click the iCard to go to our website and the web page about this project. And on that page there will be a link to our heart pillow tutorial. And in the heart pillow tutorial, we make a heart shape in the front of the loop yarn, and then we continue it on and finish it into a pillow. So that tutorial would tell you how to finish this into a pillow. So head on over there and you can see how to complete this into your own pillow. If you were going to stitch this into a blanket of some sort, then you would use these loops to attach it to the blanket, and you would loop into the sides in order to attach it to the blanket and keep going with stitches. So, but if you want to just have this little piece like this, what you can do is do a bind off on this row, and we do have also another tutorial on how to do bind off in case this is not, if you need more information after seeing this video. So to do the bind off, you take the last two stitches and you pass this stitch through the first stitch and pull. Then you take the next stitch and pass it through and pull. And the next stitch and pull. Next stitch, pull. So we go all the way across that way. And then once you get to the end, you just cut the last loop open and tie it off. So here's the last loop, and I will just cut it open and then tie it off to one of the other loops. For these loops that are extra, there's usually a few extra at the end, just like at the beginning. You just cut in between the loops carefully. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this new yarn that's on the market now, and that you consider making something with these magic yarn in the future. You can keep up with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Visit our website by clicking the iCard to find the links to follow us. If you are on Pinterest, pin our projects to save them. This is a great way to keep track of your favorite projects. Visit our website, needlepointers.com, to find lots of other loop yarn tutorials and projects.